First alert, weather alert today because of anticipated gusty winds up around the 40-mile-per-hour mark. And we're seeing those winds start to ramp up. El Paseo looking pretty pleasant this morning. But those winds will start to push in, and they'll actually change from westerly to northerly winds. And we're going to see some blowing sand and dust through the pass. It's going to make travel difficult. Plus, there is the potential for power outages from down power lines. Wind advisory in the high desert areas through Joshua Tree stretching out east of the Coachella Valley. That's until 11. Wind advisory in the Inland Empire until noon, and we continue to keep an eye on those gusty winds. They've jumped up considerably since we started our broadcast. Now winds hovering in the 26-mile-per-hour range through both Cathedral City and Palm Springs. Very similar numbers here in Thousand Palms. And as you head up the hill through Joshua Tree, here's the band of the strongest winds right now. This area of low pressure retreating, bumping up against a building ridge of high pressure. And when we get stuck in between a pressure gradient like that, you get very strong gusty winds, and you can see the area that will be chiefly impacted by that. Then late tonight into tomorrow, another storm system works its way down along the eastern side of the Sierras, another inside slider storm system, very much like the one we saw yesterday. So the winds are going to be very tough tomorrow. And in fact, in areas where we're talking about winds in the 40-mile-per-hour range today, we could see winds up around 60 to 65 miles per hour. Our temperatures at 60 in many valley cities are very close to it. Pretty mild start to the day, but those winds are ramping up. We're seeing very gusty winds along the Colorado River and now moving their way through the high desert down into the Palm Springs area. So when I put the winds in motion, you're going to see those winds back off a little bit tonight, this afternoon, and then tomorrow they return to those very powerful gusts in the 35 to 40 mile per hour range. And then into Friday, they settle back down. So I think as we move into Friday, things will be a good bit calmer. Today, that storm system working its way in through the Pacific Northwest into the Intermountains. And then that system will drop down as it moves along, as I said, the eastern ridge of the Sierra. So that's going to create some very gusty winds, particularly the strongest winds tomorrow. Our forecast today has us in the mid to upper 70s, a pretty comfortable day when you subtract the wind out of play. Tomorrow, a lot cooler. The next storm system in will bring with it some cool conditions. So gusty, windy, both today and tomorrow. Friday, a little calmer, and then we head into the weekend with temperatures running in the low to mid 80s, a little bit warmer as we head into next week. Let's go over to Jeff and Angela.
Top stories on the way.
All right, stay tuned.